Doug Smith with another Restaurant Mastermind. And right now I'm talking to Chuck Thorp. Chuck is the president and CEO of Double Dave's Pizzaworks, over 40 locations throughout Texas as well as into Oklahoma. And Chuck, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you is because you do things different and you're doing things better when it comes to understanding who your customer is. So, first off, thank you for your time. I know you're busy, but talk about when you became CEO in 2007, you implemented and made changes regarding technology. And it's really helped you in this situation right now, understanding who your customer is, how to stay visible. Why was that so important to you, and what exactly have you done?
Well, it was important to me because I saw some of the larger chains implementing similar things or starting similar things back in 2007. And what we did was basically I set aside a portion of the budget to be able to continually invest in technology. So the first thing we did was we streamlined our point of sale systems, and every franchisee was basically mandated to buy this particular system. And we selected this company because they were a smaller company, but they were willing to customize their platform for us. And they've continually worked over the years with us to stay cutting edge and remain relevant in the technology side, and helping us essentially build databases on our existing customer base as well as the new ones coming in. And it just allowed us to kind of cherry pick the ways that we could communicate with our customers. And that's been probably the single most helpful thing that we've ever done. The company prior to me taking over was pretty much run by a 1970s pizza guy, and technology was not part of his portfolio. He was a handshaker, go out in the community, talk to people kind of guy, and that's just not scalable. It works in a hyper local community. It works in a single unit situation, but in order to be able to reach the masses like we wanted to do, we had to take advantage of every piece of technology we could. And so that we started down that path, and basically our saving grace today, I think, is our customer base, the data that we have on our customers. We kind of know what they want. They give us feedback. We have a continual open loop of communication with them. We are hitting them on social media. We're hitting them with emails, and we're getting tremendous feedback from it. They appreciate what we're doing, and certainly during these times, they appreciate the fact that we're able to still get them good food at a reasonable price in a reasonable time frame, and they can enjoy it in their homes.
How important was it when the virus and the shutdown started and the dining room shut down to be able to have that database and that connection with your customers, to be able to immediately implement kind of an all points bulletin, we're still open? Has that really proven to be successful?
Absolutely. I don't know how to measure how important it was. I feel that it was extremely important because it allowed us to immediately let customers know, hey, we're still open, we're still serving, and this is how we have adapted to accommodate the situation. And that basically was, we shut down our dining rooms, we're open for carryout, we're open for curbside, and we're open for delivery. We've done some really unique things with curbside. We've created some really neat signage, cutting edge, more pithy, I guess would be a better word for what, the signage, park here and give us a call, or park here and scream, out the window, we'll come running, things like that. So, our customer base typically for Double Dave's is they're loyal. I don't want to call it a cult because it's not, but we do have an extremely loyal following, and we just get tremendous feedback on some of the pithy stuff that we put out there about our products or about what we're doing today. We have something called, we do a pizza of the month every month. And we've done this now for about, 3 or 4 years. And we literally have people line up on the first day of the month before the restaurant's open to see what that pizza is going to be. So that kind of tells you kind of what a fanatic some of our customer base is, which we really appreciate. So everything we do, we try to cater to that fanaticism.
That's awesome. So, as I mentioned earlier, you became CEO in 2007, which was a year before the Great Recession. So, you become the big boss, and then all of a sudden the economy goes down into the tubes. Was there anything from your learning experience from that has helped you in getting through this and helping coach your franchisees that you're able to implement?
Oh, absolutely. Back then, we had a lot of restaurants that were 5,000, 6,000 square feet. And in markets like huge markets like Dallas and Austin and San Antonio and Houston, those size footprints were just not economical. There was no way we could pull out enough pizza dollars within a 3-mile radius of a 5,000 square foot restaurant to justify that footprint. So the very first adaptation we began to make was shrinking down the footprint and phasing out those larger restaurants. So one of the things that I learned in the first recession was you don't need a 5,000 square foot dining room to serve our customers our products. They're perfectly happy coming into a 1,000 square foot dining room. Our kitchens pretty much stayed the same, but they're also perfectly happy to receive our food off premise. And so we really began to focus on that after the recession. And I think that's what kept us alive. We definitely lost some restaurants during that time, but we also were putting up signs. They were just different. They were different footprints.
Gotcha. As say someone is watching this right now and they opened their first restaurant or they became a new franchisee of a brand 4 or 5 years ago and the economy was going great, no issues. This is their first time ever facing something like this. You may have questions like this coming from some of your franchisees. What's the top 1 or 2 things that you would tell somebody right now that they need to think about or consider, or steps they should take to stay visible and to, keep revenue generating?
Well, naturally, if they have a database, I would say that's the very first place you want to go to start informing your customer. But I'd also say, be flexible, stay light on your feet, be willing to listen to suggestions, be innovative, be creative, adapt, talk to your 25 mover and shakers in your 3-mile radius, your school principal, your pastors, your people who lead civic organizations. Gain insight as to what they're looking for, what they need right now in the way of food, and how you can serve them. I'm a strong advocate of identifying mayors within our communities, brand ambassadors that do a lot of work for us, that whenever someone says pizza, Double Dave's comes out of their mouth. Training those brand ambassadors is important right now. The more brand ambassadors you have out there, the more advocates you have for your brand within your service area. I use 3-mile radius because that's what Double Dave's typically,
Right.
That's what we focus on. Other restaurants may focus on larger trade areas. But involving the people in the community who are influential is imperative to, I think, success during these times, because they're going to tell you what the neighborhood associations want. They're going to tell you what the country club needs. They're going to tell you what the schools need. They're going to tell you what the hospitals need. And just be prepared to adapt and figure out a way to service them.
Got it. Last question for you pertains to something that I hear a lot of. And things are tight. We understand, revenues are down overall, but it's so important to stay visible. And it's something that we preach here at our company. But of course, they can look at me and go, you're a marketer. Of course, you're going to tell me that I need to market. From your vantage point, how important is it right now for people to be creative and to stay visible to make it through this? Because from our vantage point, there's opportunity at the end of this, but trying to tell somebody what they need to do and invest money or invest time now is kind of a hard putt. From your viewpoint, how important is it for people to just stay visible at this point?
Well, it's extremely important. It's going to be a matter of your survival. If you don't stay relative and people don't know that you're open, you're not going to survive. But from my perspective, it's not really a hard putt, because I mean, for example, a typical double days prior to our dining rooms being shut down, we would have 10 people in the restaurant in the morning prepping food for $2,000 and $3,000 lunch buffets. That's no longer going on right now. The operator has time to sit down and think of strategies of how to market themselves. So while revenues may be down, there's a surplus of cash in the labor pool. So you just need to reallocate some of your budget line items. You're not going to be spending as much on labor. You need to focus on spending that on your marketing. You need to be investing in the marketing as much as you can. And your message needs to be, I'm open, I'm safe, I'm doing the best I can to serve the community.
And you guys do a really good job on the social media side. You have a top-notch team. You stay visible. And some restaurants look at social media kind of as a foe, not a friend. I see you guys seeing it more as a friend. How important is it to utilize those platforms, because it's low cost, no cost right now, to be able to connect with those customers?
I think it's imperative, and I think it's really important. I was actually one of those obstinate individuals as far as social media when it first began to surface. I kind of thought it was going to be a fad, not a trend. And fortunately, I have a diverse team, and I've got some youngsters on my team now who are much more savvy at it than I am. And so I kind of just empowered them to steer our company, or at least help me steer the company in a direction where we became relevant on social media. And I wasn't sure what that was going to look like. I wasn't sure how we were going to do it. I just told them or asked them to get it done. And I couldn't be more pleased with the outcome. Empowering some of these younger people who understand the landscape there of social media has been, well, it's been a blessing for me. If I'd had to do it by myself, I'd probably still be stumbling around trying to figure out how to log on to Instagram.
Well, Chuck, thank you so much for your time. I know that you have a lot going on, but we appreciate it. Appreciate you sharing your insights as part of this restaurant mastermind. And you and I are first connections on LinkedIn. If anyone who's watching this would like to be able to connect with you, are you open to people sending you connection requests and being able to try to tap into your knowledge?
Absolutely. The more people I can meet and learn from, the better man I'm going to be.
Sounds good. Chuck Thorp, President, CEO, Double Dave's Pizza Works. We appreciate your time, Chuck. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Doug.